I'm MK, and I am here with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and I'm mixing it with Mixed Media Mayhem's recipe for today. So I have this amazing layout designed by Kathy Price, and I indicated that it was a Mixed Media Mayhem, and the recipe is from Mel. She wants us to use embossing folders, blue, purple, and black, and sequins. So what did I do? I pulled out all of my papers that I used yesterday because this is my travel pictures. Still on the same driving trip with my husband, and I realized I have no purple pulled out. So I did pull out a black piece, which is more of a charcoal, so I'm kind of cheating. But I also have this word escape, which I'm not sure if I want to use. It's black. I do have a bunch of blue pieces, so I do need to go and pull out some purple. I'm just showing you guys that I have not put anything away. I am using the exact same stuff as I had yesterday from 49 and Market, Bramble Fox, Altenew, Pear Tree, My Mind's Eye, and Die Cuts with a View, except for that brand new piece of paper that I pulled out, which is Creative Memories. All right, so in my travel stash, I have this little pouch that has all these little tickets, and look, here is a purple ticket that will be blended beautifully with this set. Again, I apologize for my lighting being in the way, but it's not so bad because of the 12 by 12 layout that I've got going on. I also pulled out my uber old Martha Stewart large corner rounder. I love this punch, by the way. I'm going to pull out some, I believe it's walnut stain. Oh, yes, it is. And then halfway through this project, I forgot about an embossing folder. So I will go and pull that out here shortly as well. I'm going to trim my photos down to roughly 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, but then I realized, oh, that's not going to work. So I have to cut down my photos so that way I can get my little strip to work at 4 inches each to mount my photos on this mint color. So I'm just trying to stick with the same color scheme, seeing how this is the same trip, but I don't mind that all my photos aren't matchy-matchy, right? Or all my layouts, I should say. I do plan on matting my cream cardstock from Close to My Heart using this black. Like I said, it almost looks like a faded picture background type of deal, or a charcoal, no, not charcoal, chalkboard background. So I'm going to use that as my black that I'm bringing in for my recipe. And then instead of putting what looks like a corner bookmark, I'm going to actually fold my my white cardstock over to expose part of that black corner. So, and then of course I forget all the things that I'm going to be doing or all the plans I had for this layout and end up doing something totally different. So it's all good. I'm going to go through my little bin of well, I guess they're fancy brads because they're not just colorful brads. They've actually got like little stickers and paper on top of them. So fancy brads from all different companies. And I pulled out a few that match my travel theme and my color tone that I'm attempting to go for. I measured out my little corner so that way I could take this Die Cuts with a View piece of paper and go ahead and color the other side. It is just a quick little way of not using, I didn't want to use a double-sided piece of paper for this large background because I want to do my rub-ons on the background. So in order for me to get a double side, I'm just going to go ahead and put a pattern paper where I need it instead of covering up the whole thing. All right, and I don't know why I forgot to round my corner. Yes, I did. So it doesn't get a round corner, which is fine. I don't even notice it until like right now when I'm voiceovering this video. So go me. I'm layout number 2 in the brand new craft room, you guys. I am still trying to learn my way around. I feel like I am so lost. I feel like I'm a stranger in somebody else's room is how I feel right now. It is the weirdest feeling. I can't not get into a groove to where I can scrapbook. All right, so here is my blah, blah, blah. Here's the embossing folder that I have picked out. And based off of the purple that I would like to use. I pulled out Mold Lavender. And then what I'm going to be doing is taking the ink and putting it on the raised edges. So when I put my paper down, ink side down, I will take it to my machine and end up running it through, and it will take the ink and impress it into my paper. So it's a really cool effect. I haven't done it in years, but I do absolutely love, excuse me, I do love this effect. I just forget that it's there, right? So there are my pieces, and I do plan on doing it a third time. And then I'm just going to take the Mold Lavender and ink my edges, because I know that these are my photo mats. So not a lot is going to be showing. It's basically just a texture thing. I could have used my edge distressor and got the exact same effect. However, I was supposed to use an embossing folder. And because I didn't pre-plan anything, or I had something totally different before I realized what the recipe was, my bad, this is the best that I had. So it's my fault entirely. I probably could have added an extra piece of paper behind my photo cluster and used that as the embossing folder. But again, I was so discombobulated based off of not feeling like I'm in my own space. I had no idea what I was doing, you guys. This layout is all over the place. I still haven't even attached my cream cardstock to my black base, because I want to put a brad in the corner of my folded down corner. And I want it, and it has to go through a piece of photo. No, it has to go through a photo. See, I'm all over the place. And so I'm not really sure. I haven't figured out how I want that to go yet. But first I decided, okay, let me concentrate on the blue. I have the purple taken care of. I have the black taken care of. Now I'm going to concentrate on the blue. And the best part about the black as well is inside my dictionary splatters from 49 and Market, I have black words, black writing, so that also brings in the black for me. So it wasn't a big deal. But I do have to tone down this little ticket. And what I'm doing is I am scrunching it up to get, hills and valleys. And then I'm going to take my walnut stain brown ink and go ahead and ink it up just to make it look like it's been in somebody's pocket for a couple days. As they travel. I pulled out a black camera from the Altenew collection, and that does not end up staying. And then I go ahead and pull out a blue geotag, because blue is one of the requirements. And I pull out this black Day 2. So I thought, oh, that's perfect too. And then also from the Altenew collection, I pulled out a little arrow that says to be continued, because I thought that was kind of cool, since this is Day 2 of our drive, and so it's to be continued, right? So the drive is to be continued. I also plan on mixing and matching a couple of my rub-ons. So these are just signs that we saw along the way. We love it when we see a city or a exit or anything like that has our personal name on it. So that is one of the signs. And then the other sign says point of entry, just because it's like it was nothing. It was a random nothing. And we had no clue what its purpose was for. There wasn't a weigh station. There wasn't a check station for anything. It just said point of entry. And, Jason and I thought, well, maybe it's down the road a little bit. But normally they're just pull off, pull back on. So we didn't grasp that concept. So, of course, I had to, take a picture of it. Like, what point of entry to what? Like, it's a mystery. And then, of course, the Welcome to Wyoming sign. Had to grab that as well. So they're just signs that I saw along the way. In case you guys are curious, driving through Wyoming, from Nevada into Utah is very boring. The salt flats are nothing to write home about. They are as flat as ever. And then going from Utah, once you start heading north and you get out of Utah and into Wyoming, again, it's nothing to write home about. You might see a hill, you might see some pretty rock formations, something like that, and that's about it. So, like I said, most of my photos were of the weather and signs that we were having fun with, okay? I don't want to say making fun of, but we were having fun with. I did see a really cool truck that I tried to get pictures of, but well, actually the trailer the truck was pulling. I tried to get a picture of that, and that didn't necessarily work in my favor. So I won't be scrapbooking that because it just looks like a hot mess. But the memory is still there. So I've got my dictionary prints or rub-ons down on my layout in roughly where Kathy had her clusters on her sketch. And so I say roughly because I'm using 3 photos and I had a different gap than what she had up at the top. But I still have my 3 little clusters of embellishments, just like she has represented. 2 of my brads are a W and a Y to represent Wyoming. So I think that's kind of cool because it says day 2 driving to be continued and then Wyoming. So if I had a word that said into Wyoming, that would have been even awesome. But, you know, I didn't, and it's implied, right? Also, too, I'm going to add another rub-on up at the top that says away we go. And on my photo is where I'm going to put the arrow rub-ons that are underneath the away we go. However, I forgot that I'd already put foam on the back of my photos. So I did not pre-plan that I was going to put it on my photo. Because if I did, I would have not rubbed it on while it had the foam on it, because what it did was it indented my photo. I tried to fix it, and I'm not sure how noticeable it is, but it is what it is, and it's just, you know, the journey of scrapbooking along the way. That's all that it is. It's not going to bother me too much because, like I said, it was the creative process as opposed to whether or not I'm going to put it in a museum, right? So yeah, there is the dent, and then I try to fix it, and oh, yep, looks good enough for me. Moving on. So I'm going to build a bigger cluster over here because this is actually going to be over on the left side. Sorry, over here, like you can see my hands moving, right? I'm going to build a larger cluster over on the left because that's actually going to be my title cluster. So I'm going to use this photo frame and frame around my pictures using these arrows, and then use the ticket to fill in my photo or my film strip, not photo frame, my film strip. I'm going to use a couple pieces of Stampin' Dimensionals, so the foam hexagons from Stamp It Up, just to have it just kind of laying on top. I didn't really want to secure it and lose all my lump and bump that I put on the ticket. So yes, I definitely do enjoy just having things floating on my layout, you guys. If it's going to go into an album, which mine do pretty much right away, if it's going to go in an album, I just want to make sure it's secure. I don't need to make sure that Fort Knox can't break into it, right? Type of deal. So I just used 3 foam things, and then I've got Go is my big title, and then day 2 drive to be continued, Wyoming. And you can't really see the word drive. Actually, I think it says driving on the photo because I didn't realize it was going to blend in that well. But when you look straight up at the photo in person, you can see it. And I'm not going to try to outline because it's not paper. I'm not going to try to outline a rub-on and make the word drive show up. All right, so last but not least, I've got some Love by Lily sequins. They were gifted to me by Sandy. And the best part is that there are purpley blue iridescent sequins in here. And I thought, oh my goodness, this matches beautifully because then it brings in a little bit of purple. It matches the blue that I have. I mean, it is just the perfect touch, even though they were meant for a winter layout. So it was absolutely perfect, and it helps with my little splatters that I had going on to give them some life and dimension as well. So that is my layout for today. I like that the ticket or the receipt or whatever it is that I used because it kind of represents, you know, a travel theme based off of the fact that it could have been a receipt from, you know, the gas station, or it could have been a receipt from a restaurant, or heaven forbid, a ticket that we received because we're going too fast, but my husband's driving, so that is never going to happen. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I truly appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with me. Here is the layout. Kathy, I apologize, my bad. Kathy, thank you so much for sharing your design with us. I had a blast creating with it. Be sure to check out the playlist down below and see everybody else playing along with the 30 days of sketches with Christy. And I will check y'all later. Thanks. Bye.